Everything that you already need to become successful and succeed in life, you already have. Now let me just tell you the scenario. Let's say you get the opportunity to go into an eternal dream. You'll never wake up from it, but you have full control over everything. You can see anything you want, you can do anything you want, and you can create anything that you want. Now as you dream, you do everything that you wish of doing. You see everything that you want to see, and you create everything that you want to create. And over time, things are going to get a little stale. So you decide to let the dream take control over you. You instead decide to gamble, and you choose that you don't know what's going to happen next. And as you play out every scenario possible, you'll end up where you are now. You'll end up in the same house, with the same opportunity, the same challenges, and the same struggle that you have now. Now, why am I even saying this scenario in the first place? Well, it's to explain that the grass is always greener on the other side. And eventually, after living every other life, you'll wish that you could live your life that you're living right now. And the reason why this matters is because you're probably stuck in a loop of comparison. Now, the reason why I say this is because the average person is stuck in this trap. They instead view their life as a nightmare, when in reality, you should view it as a dream. You should view it as an opportunity to create the things that you want to create. And when I say the term create your existence, this is what I mean. Now let's view your life as a very long and complicated road. And on this road, there are many exits that you can take. There are many different paths that you can go on. And you are in full control on which path you decide to take. And some of these paths are going to bring you happiness. Some of these paths are going to bring you sorrow. And some of them might make you angry. And some of them might not have any effect on you at all. But regardless, you're the one who decides to take that path. And this road does come to an end at some point. But here's the interesting thing about this road, is regardless on which way you go, left or right, up or down, eventually you'll end up in the same place. Everything in this physical life that you create will eventually disappear. Now here's what's going to determine whether you lived a good life or whether you have lived a bad life. If you achieved all your goals, if you helped out as many people as you possibly could, you developed all these meaningful connections with everybody, you learn as much about the world as you possibly can, and you develop yourself to be the best person you possibly can be. Now, when you do hit this eternal dream, you will be dreaming of nothing but positive things. Now, let's say you lived a life of primarily negative thoughts. You live a life where somebody does you wrong and you do wrong back. You live a life where you screwed other people over for your personal gain. You didn't care to help somebody. Everything was just in your best interest. And you did nothing to achieve your goals. And all you did was waste your time doing mundane things that, quite frankly, add no value to you. Then you're probably going to be in an eternal nightmare. Now, what if I told you this dream or nightmare is happening right now in front of you? You're living it right now. And the thing is, you can choose which narrative you decide to believe in. And I want to ask this question, and I really want you to think about it. When has being negative ever got somebody exactly what they want? Quite simply, it is impossible to get what you want from having a negative point of view. Because if you get something that you want, then that's positive. At the end of the day, there's always a resolution to something. Let's say you get in an argument with somebody. You guys are getting mad over the smallest things. And one of two things are going to happen. One, you guys are going to argue day after day, never finding a resolution. It's going to end in a negative break-off. Or you guys come to a conclusion, you guys come to some sort of agreement, which ends up being a positive thing, which proves my point of being negative will never get you exactly what you want. Now, you may think it may temporarily get you what you want. It may feel good in that moment to lash out in anger, to lash out with negative intentions, but at the end of the day, it's never going to solve your issues. And all it's going to do is add a chip on your shoulder. And my point is, if you are living an unhappy life, things aren't going the way that you want them to go. I want you to think about how you react to everything around you. If something goes wrong, what is your first reaction? Do you proactively try to assess the situation and fix the situation? Or do you immediately lash out with negativity? And what you tell yourself on a regular basis will come true. So if you are telling yourself that you're a sad person, that you're unhappy, nothing ever goes your way, and guess what? That's going to be the truth. And you're the one who's choosing to stay in this eternal nightmare. You feel as if there's no escape. There's no right direction that you can take because every direction you take is the wrong one. The reason why you feel this way is because you tell yourself that you're taking the wrong direction. You tell yourself that you're unhappy. Now, let's say you, over time, started telling yourself positive things. You start telling yourself in a negative situation that it's okay, bad things happen, but you learn from them. You start to think that just because something bad happens to me doesn't mean it's a negative thing. It could be a great learning experience. I would much rather assess the situation and fix the problem over time instead of laying in bed countless nights upset about my life, upset about my lifestyle. I would much rather just fix it then and there. And many people will say, oh, Koby, you're just living in a false fantasy. You can't have full control over your mind. That's stupid. And my response is, why can't I live in this fantasy? If I'm telling myself I'm happy 24/7, I'm always excited and I'm always motivated, then how can I not be? Because at the end of the day, I know how I'm feeling. And if I tell myself I'm a positive person, I'm happy to be here, and I'm grateful for everything, then how can anyone tell me different? Now, what I'm saying may sound complicated and it may sound all over the place, but the thing is if you are living an unhappy life and you change the way that you think, you change the way that your mind works, and you view your life as a dream more so than a nightmare, then you're going to live a happy life. But if you continue to tell yourself negative things, you continue to belittle yourself, and you reaffirm negative mindsets into your mind, then these things will simply become true. Now let's apply this logic to somebody who is in a negative mindset. In their current state of existence, they are sad. Nothing is going their way. They don't have everything that they need. They feel as if they lack everything, when in reality they have everything, but in that state, they have nothing. But if you could convince yourself and tell yourself you have everything you need, you're excited to do the things that you want to do, then it's going to become true. And then before you know it, you're actually going to be achieving your goals. Even if it is a small time frame of a fantasy that you live in, at the end of the day, if it's getting your goals done and you're working towards things that is creating your existence, then how can it really be a fantasy? And at the end of the day, you're going to fight something. You're going to struggle. But it just matters on if you enjoy the struggle or not. It matters if you can overcome these struggles. If you are just letting simple things dominate your mind and you overthink, you don't take action, then you're going to stay in this endless loop of living an unhappy life. The message of the video is your current state of existence is completely determined by you and what you tell yourself.